Hey, happy Halloween.
Oh, happy Halloween.
What is happening? Welcome to the Fool's Journey Halloween edition. Oh my God, I keep bumping into my microphone with this.
I know, you're so horny.
This hat that I have here. So
Oh.
this hat that I'm wearing has an interesting story. Somebody gave this to me at a haunt convention. Years ago, years and years and years ago, and it just sat on the top of my shelf. I never had any reason really to wear it, and it's amazing. It's got this like peacock feather and these feathers, and it's pretty amazing. I'm pretty happy I decided to pull it out this year because it was a hit last night, and I feel rather dashing in it. And look at you, Mr. Wizard, or should I say, Ms.
The sorceress. Yes,
the sorceress.
That's half my power. Actually, she's the one that does my best magic anyway, so I figured it was time to give her a just due. And tonight, it's the Hermit. It's the search. It's the search, the inner journey, the search for your inner light. What could be better? And most, like the most significant part of that journey is facing your own fears. So here I am facing one of my biggest ones right on the fucking internet.
I love it. I love it. What's up, Neil? Happy Halloween to you.
Neil, I got to give Neil props. Hang on, man. Neil's been sending me, Neil got the angel deck as well. And Neil's been sending me layouts of readings he's doing along with his interpretations. And kudos to Neil. That's the way to learn, my brother. And,
awesome.
Yeah, and we'll get there on the accuracy. The fact that he's doing that is the way to get to accuracy.
Amazing. No, and, absolutely.
Super
and
cool.
Happy
and
Halloween
I wanted to also respond to him on something he Facebooked me today about he pulled, do what you want with the angel deck. It's, it's kind of like flexibility. It's how they talk to you and, devise your own thing. The tarot deck, I like usually, if I'm doing a really quick read, I'll do a quick 3-card little minimal thing, maybe a single card, but usually like a 3-card. But when I'm like actually going for something, I'm going to do a reading that's a minimum of 12 cards. Right. Easily 60, 70 cards by the time I get through really investigating and going through it. So that's a lot of information. That's a lot of interpretations. That's a lot of blending of elements together that like wind up making that final picture. And that takes a little while of reading to be able to, get that kind of clarity. But the wonderful thing about the angel deck is that I can't remember the last time I pulled more than one card. Because no matter what, it seems like the angel card, I'm like, oh man, it's like the very first sentence of the card is like, it's half the time these days, I don't even have to go find, I could stop at the first sentence and just
go. Right. I think that's what I like about the angel deck. I like to just pull one card, get my message, and be on with it,
Well, that's kind of why they work together so well for me, because the tarot deck, I mean, like the volume of information you can get from that is pretty hysterical. It's like facts and directions to look and all these different things. And the angel deck just kind of like takes all of that and goes, boom. Here's where you're at emotionally and defining that. And like second paragraph, here's how you like act on that. And boom, done. Man. I don't need anything else.
Jilly is asking, is there a spread for angel cards? And I think you're answering it as it's just, just whatever you feel.
Whatever you feel. And, when I first did them, I was in such a, my minimum pull for a tarot reading was 3 cards. So I devised a bunch of readings for them. But to be honest with you, after the first card, I'm like getting like, I need 12 confirmations that the first card was correct.
Right.
No,
Yeah,
not really.
that was always it for me. Neil asked, should he shuffle like the tarot and cut the angel deck?
Absolutely.
Yeah, same.
That Norma Cowrie shuffle, you know, that does a couple of things. That really, really randomizes where the cards were, so that whatever residual was left from your last reading gets
wiped away.
Yeah, exactly. And then, there's also something about that randomization and the physical act of putting those together and putting energy on that also makes it like it gives them the energy to move things around and tell you where to. Yeah, okay, yeah, the shuffle goes there. Like it kind of fills it up with the thing that, especially if you're diligent about concentrating on what the point of the reading is while you're shuffling.
Right.
It gives you a pretty good, it really immerses you in what the present situation is. And when you take the time to like go there, it mentally prepares you, but it also like really gives it time to dig that out and give you a really accurate answer, which is awesome.
Cool. Awesome. So,
hey, I want to give a shout out to my friend Amber, who showed up and sent us a message up front. So glad you're here. I was hoping you would. I've got a big shout out for all you guys later. You particularly have been a very impactful person in my journey here. And one of the things I'm going to talk about tonight is how different life has become just in 3 weeks since the little goddess gathering thing that I went to.
It's awesome. I want to hear all about it. Yeah.
That reception and connecting to all those people and finding that has just been a blessing and a joy and a treasure. And man, and Amber's a huge part of that. And we're going to be discussing facing your fears tonight, Amber. So I'm going to talk about the night I connected up with you at the beer crawl thing. I'm sure that was. So glad you're here. Thanks.
So I guess I feel like I want to like talk to everybody and say, hey, did anyone do anything special for Halloween and all
Please,
this?
yes.
Do you want to like do the card and then get into the party, or you want to just party first?
Well, the card, the whole party is the card. Facing your fears, our ghost stories, the things we go seeking out inside us. That's what the Hermit's all about. It's not really about what anyone else thinks about it. It's not really. It's the journey inward, and the planet for it's Scorpio. So it's like, or not Scorpio, Mercury. So, it's about that thought and those processes, and it's in an air sign, so it's about taking those things inward and projecting those out. And a lot of the original cards, as you can see there's like this light shining from the solar plexus and from inside. But, whereas the magician is like yelling at everybody about all the stuff he knows and like here. The Hermit isn't concerned with anyone else at all, except finding his own truth and his own path and finding where the absolute authentic real piece of himself lies. And when that discovery gets made and all the dross and goo of the things that you thought you were supposed to be and learn and all of that gets off and you're just down to your pure light. That light is so bright, it radiates out from you. And whether you want to or not, other people see that and are attracted to that and want that. There's a truth to that. That's not about the Hermit, but there's a truth to that light that like makes you go, wow, where'd you get that, man? I want that for me.
Right. Yeah, no, I can relate to that energy, that whole kind of like, I feel like there was a point where I just kind of became, I don't want to say antisocial, but like I just didn't really need to be social, and going out was like not exciting to me to like go hang out, with people. So I would just spend a lot of time alone. And I think, that is when I got to know myself, the most.
I did the same thing. I like, once I really kind of devoted myself to my magic, between that and my art, it's like, it takes a lot of time and energy and devotion. I really kind of found myself married to that,
I should have pulled some of your some of the latest shots I saw you doing. You doing some really amazing stuff, dude. The
Oh,
the
thanks.
the dancing with Fiona and
Oh God, yeah. You know, actually, that whole series of
I keep bumping into
images is
my.
about rediscovering somebody that I just found, and those are really joyous images. It's just it feels like a movie. I'm like, wait,
It's awesome, man, and I love it. I love being able to, I mean, as your friend, being able to talk to you and see the difference in your energy. When you're going through different things. I mean, you were going through some rough stuff, and your energy was really reflective of that, and now you're going through some great stuff, and your energy is really reflective of that.
well, the thing that keeps blowing me away is how this. We started off to do a show called The Fool's Journey.
Hmm.
And every single card that's like playing out, I'm like, I have some weird life lesson that relates to that at that
Hmm.
moment.
Hmm.
And as I reflect back now on the time that that's happened and start stacking all those things up, I'm like, oh my God, it's like the most literal version of that you could imagine, So it's kind of amazing. And later on, dude, you know, I'm I'm a little miss numbers. So we did this thing with you not long ago when we were looking at the magic square on the Magus, and we were talking about making sigils and how to get
Hmm.
there.
Hmm.
The whole numerology thing came up, and we wound up doing your life lesson number, which turned out to be a 55,
Hmm.
and that just kind of like hit a little bell for me. And I didn't really have any idea about it like that. That's not been a common number in my life at all. It did kick off like right before I moved here. One of the last things I did was get my tag renewed. And they said, oh, yeah, man, it's 10 years. You need a new plate. And the old plate reflected the moment of my birth. It was almost my birth date, like
Wow.
exact. And this wound up being 55B and a couple of few more letters.
Hmm.
55B. I'm like, that's kind of like talking to me there, man. I wonder what the hell that's
Yeah.
about, right?
Yeah, totally.
So we come here, we do the little card thing. I do the numbers for you. We figure out your thing. 55. I'm like, I decide I'm going to do like a whole number chart for you. Which, by the way, have you had any time to like?
I
Spend
did. I printed it out. I've looked at it. I shared it with Janice. Hold on a second. Maybe I can get what it was called. Blah, 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 blah. What did I do with it? See if I could find it, and I could even share it because it is beautiful. It's amazing. I told you when you sent it to me, how awesome it was. So Brian did my numbers, and he sent it to me in this PDF that he made. Oh, here it is, Wizard of Odd. Here it is. Awesome. So I'm going to open this up, and hold on. Let me stop that screen, and let me share this screen window. Blah, 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 blah. Wizard of Odd. Here we go. So Brian presented this to me, and it's kind of odd in the PDF that it's put together. So this is the cover. It's kind of like a booklet, and this would be the cover.
It was this. I redesigned this. I'll send you a new one.
Okay.
One of my friends I just did it for. She like pretty much just uses her phone, and it really doesn't work in that format at all. And this was really set up to be printed in
Yeah, this is set up
a
to
coffee table
right.
book.
So
Yeah.
right.
So
So imagine this is the cover, but then when you open it up, it would open up like a book. So this
exactly.
is kind of the inside of a book. So the first thing that Brian did here was he's just explaining what numerology is. All things that appear solid in this world are in fact not. If you break down anything that appears solid to our perception, you arrive at a place where it is no longer solid, but a collection of particles held together by an electrical charge. I'm not going to read the whole thing,
No,
but
no, no.
but Brian is explaining, what numerology is here, and then the next page talks about the different numbers that he's going to.
Well, a breakdown of, and that little chart on the right is really simple. There's not really any mystery to it at all. It's just super simple and pretty much arithmetic.
Yep. It makes a lot of sense. So again, it's just the first couple of pages are kind of instructional and tell you what's going to happen, and then I think, and then what each number kind of means here.
So go to the very end of this book, very last page.
Whoop.
Maybe not that one right before that.
Yeah. One right before that. Okay.
So read that a little bit, just the first couple lines.
So this says, okay, so what the hell do I do with this? Figure the vibrations for the year, the month, the day, the hour, the second. Watch the numbers of the address of the place that you're going. Figure out the numbers for the day, the week, the year. Every moment has a vibration. Figure the numbers of phone numbers. Figure street addresses. Figure the numbers of your friends and family. I can't tell you what a trip it is to start building info with each person and watch the fabric of your life weave together. You start to see why you were drawn together, what strengths and weaknesses each of you have, and how to better work together.
Exactly.
So this is where it gets kind of interesting,
right?
Like you were talking about, because this was written way before we even did
years ago.
This is a standard page that's in every book that Brian gives. Turn to the page numbers and look turn to the page number in any book of your life lesson number, and there will be a message for you. For you, that's page 55.
What?
That's me. Then go down to the line number. Then if you really want to get freaky and zero in, do the code thing. For example, if your life lesson is number 55, check out the info on that page. Then go to every 55th letter on page 55 and write them down. More times than I can tell you, a message seems to grow out of random characters. Go directly to the 55th line. This is valuable to find out about your life lessons. So I think that's what was so amazing to Brian when he went back to this and he did this for me, and it just he changed that number at the end, because that's what it already was. Jilly saying nice layout. Yes, it's beautiful, and again, like, just such a, I mean, I don't know, I don't usually go for readings, but this is like a real nice takeaway from a reading, I mean, and
well,
Brian,
it's not really a reading as much as a description of you.
You did my birth chart here.
True.
And you did my numerology for me, and you kind of broke down
and the tarot associations with that too.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So here's the page where Brian calculated my life lesson number, my soul number, my outer personality number, my destiny number. How he got to it shows very visually. So this is like such a beautiful gift.
1023. Remember that. That's going to come up. We will review, but 1023.
And that, you know what? It's funny that you're saying that, because that has always been like my 1111. That number pops up all the time for me. I always see
1023 is 33, bro.
I always see it. Always. So anyway, so that's the beautiful book that Brian presented to me, just because he wanted to do my numbers, but it's also a service.
Not long ago, I realized that our show tonight was going to be on the actual Halloween, so. Asked a whole bunch of people to come on. Everybody's like, "Oh man, I'd love to, but it's Halloween, man. I got this going on. I got that going on." And it became readily apparent that nobody was coming on.
Okay.
And I needed to figure something else out. So I was like, "Oh, okay, we could always, I've gone to the cemetery and done that rod spinning thing and done medium things and talked to spirits there. And I thought maybe we could do that. I was going to do that here. And then I was going, well, go investigate some cemeteries. I felt really compelled to go see what cemeteries were in Sebring. I always love seeing that, you know, tombstones. Went through a whole thing where that's all I photographed for a while. So anyway, I go cruising out, and I'm making a trip out one day, and there are two of them, a rather large one that was on the right-hand side of the road, and a smaller one that was on the left. And I had planned to go to the one on the right because it had larger stones and angel statues, kind of some stuff I was interested in. And for whatever reason, the one on the left like called my name, and my truck kind of went, and I drove in. Not unlike the Necronomicon.
So what does that mean? How is it? What does that mean? Like, do you mean the story, the way it was?
I'm talking about the story and the way that my car decided it was time for me to drive in, okay, and there was a Necronomicon, the least thing I expected, and the coolest thing, one of the coolest things I ever found out of the blue. And my car knew to go, so my truck knew to go, and I went ahead and followed it to this particular place and found a tombstone, and it has bloomed into this crazy, psychotic, like real-time metaphysical mystery adventure for me that's like revealing itself even as we speak. And I've already gotten a lot of, well, no, I don't want to do the shit. I want to do the face your fear thing first.
Okay.
I would really like to get into it. I'd like to save this for last.
All right, great.
And then we'll dive into, because who knows where that's going to go, man.
Awesome.
So we'll leave that for last.
I'm down. Wait, hold on. I discovered something really cool that I could do here, and I just figured it was Halloween, so I just wanted to celebrate Halloween with everybody. And nope, it didn't work because I turned the volume down. Okay, that was the end of it. I turned the volume down before because we had a song, but I had the Vincent Price laugh. So so we actually have some audience feedback. We've got Alpha Dream 22. Hi, this is Pat and Jack. Can you please talk more about the Hermit card?
No. No, I don't want to.
Wow.
Yes, actually, we were going there right before I saw that. So the face your fear thing is like one of the absolute critical things about that particular card, because in order to really go on the real inner journey, not the journey where you just completely, you reinforce all the images you have of yourself and the ego constructs that you've made for yourself to make it through the world, and the faces that you wear to survive in the world and make money, and all the layers of stuff you coat yourself with, that wind up taking on the facade of you, but are not you, And we are also born here with an inner light that brings with us, or to this particular incarnation, all of the spiritual, magical elevation things that you have actually done in your past lives and materialized. Like, the things that you talk about, the things that you, that you've maybe dreams that you've had, that kind of thing, the relationships you have, certainly no material things that you collect in this life. You don't get to take any of that with you. But every single ability that you wake up, and, it's like we started off in this really, really deep sleep. And each time, it's like you shed another layer of unawareness, and get closer and closer to that inner light that is the absolute quest for the Hermit. And as those things get shed, and as those places get visited, you run into more and more, especially when you start addressing the shadow side of things. You run into areas you don't want to acknowledge that are scary beyond words, that are the areas that you would do anything in the world to get by and
Kind
not
of like
have to.
shadow work. Is that kind of shadow
That
work?
is exactly. Shadow work is not easy work. Shadow work is like, oh yeah, well, I have a shadow and I've done some bad stuff. No, it's
Right.
like actually taking apart like who you are and where you are, and digging into the part of you that normally runs amok without your knowing what happens. You know, your subconscious is the part that actually does the magic. It's your intellect and your conscious mind that does the programming and the sculpting and the focusing of the intent. But the
Right.
actual place where the magic happens is in your subconscious. And if your subconscious has not been dealt with, if your subconscious is not in tune with what the rest of you is wanting to do, then your plans get messed up. You stay confused. You can't see what's actually happening around you. And I don't know about you, man, but there's stuff going on in the world. Like, open your eyes. There's so many, like, wow, we need to fix all of this. This is not right. And that happens by, addressing truth and actual truth. Like, what is
Right.
actually happening energetically, not
Right.
philosophically.
Right, and not even three-dimensionally. Courtney, I
Yes.
see Courtney is out there. She wants to come on the show. She's got some ghost stories. We're gonna do that a little bit later.
Yeah.
We're still finishing up
Not long. Not
some
long.
stuff. Yeah, not long, but we're definitely gonna have a little bit of a Halloween party happening here. So
Yeah, we're going long tonight. We're going
hang in
to
there.
11. So please stick with us. We'll be there shortly. And Patty, you wearing a costume, or did you chump out on me? That's what I want to know. By the way, Patty and Jack, they're the Tibetan Bowl guys.
Oh, awesome.
And have become incredibly dear friends. I love them very, very much.
Welcome,
I
Alpha
go
Dream
on.
22.
They do an amazing Tibetan bowl meditation every Friday, and I I join stuff hopefully optimistic, but not really expecting anything. And pretty much, as is the theme of the present time for me, it has blown me away and become part of my weekly regimen. I look forward to it every week. And Prata is, that's Jack. Prata is just doing these amazing half-hour, journeys, like talking about inner journey. Every one of those is a fucking hermit for me.
Nice.
And
awesome.
and what's really super cool is they do this scenario where he'll start off with a 5-minute blast of a certain kind of style of playing. Then you get 5 minutes of silence and meditate on that. Then a second blast where he does this like ringy thing that happens with the wood mallet on it. Kind of gives this scrape and this wow that now I've used the first one to collect all of this juice and stuff and whatever is hanging around in my aura I'd like to get rid of. And the second, every time it goes bang, I bam, spew my energy out and releases all of that. So especially the last 4 or 5 weeks, it's just been amazing little trips. So thank you.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I want to give you the big screen there because Alpha Dreams is saying thanks for the Hermit card info. I love the card and you look amazing. And you do. You look really amazing.
Oh,
Brianna, you Brianna looks amazing. I think.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Really, really nice surprise and awesome to be facing your fears and I mean
biggest one ever, man. And we're gonna get it. I think that'd be a really good time to get into that because it's a nice segue into that.
I mean,
this is a really kind of crazy moment for me on many levels, and I've faced a number of those moments over the last 3 to 4 weeks that are sometimes you could boil it down to this moment where you either turn a doorknob and walk in or choose not to and walk away. And the course of your life goes like that. And I
Amazing.
it seems
Yeah,
like I'm
yeah.
having those every day right now. Everything seems to be elevated in significance, at least for me at the moment.
Absolutely, man.
Kind of
And that's
cool.
what I was saying earlier. I feel the energy, and I love the fact that our paths crossed when they did, and I get to see this little transformation happening. And Alpha Dream 22, Jack says, "Don't be afraid of anything."
Right on,
Celestial
bro.
Infinity is
Fuck
out there.
fear.
Celestial Infinity is out there saying you look beautiful, Brian.
Thank
Uh,
you so much.
so and I love all of that support and
Ah,
love it. It
that
feels
goes
so
back.
good. I could feel
Oh,
it myself.
yeah,
It
right.
feels so good. It feels so
And
good.
that's part of the
So
story, man.
yeah, let's go with the story. Tell us the story.
Okay.
Oh, thank you very much. You too, Michael. Thank you. Like you said, we are just energy particles.
Exactly. With yeah, we're all little pieces of God, dude. That's amazing when you realize that, and it makes everything else seem so like why worry about that? I have this. So I coming up on the hurricane. That was like that. Those 5 days of darkness at night were trippy beyond words, man. And the universe used that. It's like it took its thumbs and put it on my subconscious and went, "Eek," just squeezed it all up and like, and I had memories that I hadn't had ever. Like, oh my god, I've been this part of me is like as much a part of me as Brian. There's so many like versions of this. I like don't really normally talk about that. It's like it's half of my magical energy. All magical people, all people are receptive and projective energy, male and female energies, and swinging that to any one end of the spectrum cuts out half of what you have access to and part of who you are.
Mhm.
So it's been something that's been part of it, but it's always been kind of a scary thing, and I really just didn't have the courage to face sharing it at large. Everyone that knew me and really is close to me and have been part of my circle for a while, if they don't know already, eventually knows, and it's been all cool. But it's not even something with them that like I kind of brought out. And mostly that's because of my own attitude about it, kind of like, ooh, like I had something like it was weird. And so how could anyone react to it in any other way than kind of weird if you're feeling weird about it and projecting that you expect them to feel weird? So I got what I project. So in the middle of this hurricane thing, I get the squeeze on the bottom, right? And one of the things that pops up is this image of me as a kid going into the bathroom in our house, and my mom's lipstick was on the vanity. I pulled that out, put it on, was looking at myself in the mirror, looking like that. And my mom rounds the corner and kind of freaks out. And understand this is like 61 or 62 in the middle of lower middle income Midwest, with my parents being 20 and 21. So she grabs me by the scruff of the neck, drags me out into the front yard in the broad daylight with all the kids out in the neighborhood, and makes a big humiliating laundry about it. It was, as I remember now, a super impactful thing that I wound up. By the way, you know what inspired me to share this was Be Divine. And a very strange way with this show, the way this is coming around to like this growth and this healing, at least for me, I hope it is for other people too. That like, in scoping out B, I went and read her history in her about page on her website, and she had a very, very brutal like existence, and there were just really hard things that happened that she's like transmuted into this beautiful persona and this loving, caring soul. And I think the perfect example of taking your trauma and making that into something that not only serves you but helps other people as well. And I find that a huge inspiration. And I've really grown to care for her and love her as a friend. And like, I'm so grateful that showed up. So anyway, I got to thinking about that, man. That took a lot of guts. That took some serious guts to expose that and to put that out for anyone to go read and, you know, like, okay, share your opinion about it. And I'm like, you know, it's way past time, bro. It is way fucking past time. So I'm remembering this event in my childhood. And then I start extrapolating out through my life. And it wasn't until about my 30s, and I'd already been married for like 8 years. And I like wrote this long letter to my ex. She had no idea. I had no idea. It was just something that was blooming. I was kind of freaking out about it. It was like I wanted to explore it. I was like, and I didn't want to have this fucked up, secret, deceitful sort of scenario behind her back. I wanted her to be part of it and explore it with me and see where it went. So I write this long 6-page letter. It winds up disappearing, and I know she has it. A day goes by, 2 days, a week, 2 weeks, a month goes by. I'm like, oh man, this is fucked up now. So I finally ask her about it, and she gets this look on her face like she's just tasted the most awful thing ever, right? And she goes, yes, I got that letter, and we'll not be discussing that, and that's blah, blah. I won't go all off into that, but in her defense, she'd been sold somebody else, you know, and now all of a sudden that somebody else was something that
but in essence, you kind of had been sold somebody else too, right? I mean,
no, not really. She was pretty much the same restricted.
No, I don't mean in her. I mean in yourself. I mean,
I hadn't really realized that.
Right.
But so Brian is not a fabrication. You know, the male part of me is not. I don't feel like a woman trapped in a male's body. I feel like a woman sharing a body with somebody else.
That's awesome, and I love. You don't often hear that. You know what I mean? You often hear what you were saying. I'm a man. I feel like I'm supposed to be a woman.
One of the things I want to say to those guys is like, okay, dude, go explore it. But this is just my opinion. This is maybe make some people mad. It's probably counter to some of the stuff that's put out there right now. But this, through my own experience, this is where I've come to think about this. It's not about, oh, I'm macho or I'm a girl. It's about we're awesome. And having those abilities as a woman blend with the abilities I have as a man is a pretty formidable collection of skills. And kind of the way society is sort of pitted male and female against each other, we become the enemy to each other.
Absolutely.
And instead of reveling in the things that are different and merging with like-minded people that have skills you don't have and that you have skills they don't have, and that team, then there's a third thing that gets created that's bigger than both of those separate pieces. And it seems like that doesn't get taken advantage of at all.
Right.
Now, granted, I understand, man. I know a couple people that from the moment they were born, they felt like they were little girls. I never felt like that. I always enjoyed being a little girl.
That's what I love about this expression. You know what I mean? It's not like so nailed down to the stuff that's going on and all this.
No, it's not political in any way, shape, or form. And I don't have any.
It's
platform.
A form of expression. It's great. And I know you were kind of like, you had some hesitation and you had some issues, but you were facing your fears. And I mean, everybody's response, Neil, you look great. Takes a lot of courage to share. Jilly, beautiful both ways. I mean, and I said the same thing. I think it's awesome. And even when you told me a few weeks back, we started talking about it. You know,
Yeah.
I totally, I get it. I mean, it's not something I
I wondered how
necessarily.
you were thinking about that. I'm like, well,
It's
because you
not so
knew.
well, you know. I mean, you know that I do with Courtney. You know, I do the Strange and Wonderful show, and it was the same thing. She started telling me about, oh, I have a relationship with a doll, and I was like, well, I don't, and I never have, but I'm not gonna like say you're wrong for doing it. You know what I mean? And I didn't feel any of that judgment. I felt my heart grow as she was telling me, and it made
Because
me and
she's
her.
very passionate and sincere
Yeah,
about
we
it.
made it made us closer as
Yeah,
human
she's
beings. we
cool. I
we
like her.
connected as human beings, and that was really, that's what I've been enjoying about this whole platform in general. Is just, it's a way to connect, with me and you connecting right here because of our interaction, and then with our audience, who, so Jilly's out there, and that's how her and I became friends. You know, she just saw me on the screen, and that was her first impression, and now we're actual physical IRL friends in real life.
It's great.
You know, so it's kind of cool. And I just want to acknowledge, Alpha Dream Jack is out there and said, once my 10-year-old student said to me, let fear you.
I love that. That's great.
And
Oh yeah, there you go. Love that. I want to have those guys on to do a live play.
yeah, oh,
As soon
I
as
would
they,
love that.
as soon as
I would
they're up
love
in
that.
New York right now. They're going to be coming back to Florida here
Awesome.
momentarily.
Oh wow, where are they?
As soon as they
I
get
should,
relocated. Oh
I should,
yeah, actually, you should
I should go
connect
see
up with
them.
them. Yeah,
You know,
there's a bunch of people up there. Satya, one of the other guys in the group, he's going to be coming on and talking about the Hanged Man. He's my
Awesome.
yoga instructor now, and he's been giving me he's like constructed a whole. He approaches his yoga the way I approach my metaphysics, and
Awesome.
he like constructed a whole little program just for me. I've
Oh
been
wow,
really reaping the benefits from it.
that's amazing.
So he's up there in the city. You should hook up with him,
Yeah, let's
and
get in
David
touch with these
Mum.
folks.
All those guys are up there, man. You should definitely hook up with them.
Very cool. Very cool.
So let's get to face your fear.
Yeah.
I move here. I'm like making new connections and stuff. I wind up hooking up with these 3 girls down at the marijuana dispensary. And separate times, like I have these interactions. The energy's like woo, kind of crackly. The name of the place is called Sanctuary. But now, as you think about it, it's kind of like, oh no, here's another little one on the story, right? I'm talking to this one girl a couple times. She's there every time I go in. And we just like share her face, just kind of lights up, and man, just beautiful energy. I'm like, we get to talking a little bit, and she goes, man, your energy is just so different. And we wound up like having this conversation. It turns out that her name is Rachel, which is my daughter's name, Brienne. Like, okay, here we go. Let me do your numbers. Right. So I decided to do her numbers. While I'm doing that, I come back, sometime the next week. There's another couple of girls there, this girl named Dakota, and this girl that's helping me, and we have this interaction, and we're like, oh man, what's up with your energy? I'm feeling the same thing. It's like, what must be something about this place. And she goes, yeah, man, I was feeling that about you too. What's up? We started talking about the art, the passion. I showed her light paintings. She's like, wow. I'm like, well, good to meet you. My name's Brian. She looks at me and she goes, my name's Brianna. I'm like, no fucking way, right? So I'm staring at her for a second, and all of a sudden I get this blast, and I went, Aquarian? And she goes, well, yeah. And I went, no. February 1st, January 30th. Okay. Cool. So I decided I'm going to do her numbers as well. And I'm walking out. I realized I'd walked by. Dakota had been out in the lobby, and I hadn't offered to do hers. And, she's really cool too. And I'm like, man, it's sort of the little troika of people. So I should get her hooked up too. So hey, what's up? Let me have things. And she's like, you should go to the goddess gathering, the full moon gathering. Oh, and that was the first time I busted out my pictures of Bree for Bree. I said, listen, here's why I'm like looking like I'm shocked to death. That's my twin sister's name. and showed her that. She's like, "Oh my God, that's crazy!" And they were all like over the top, thinking it was cool. And I'm like, "Wow, this is
Not
awesome."
actually your twin sister, like this
No,
is
well, no,
my alter
no,
ego.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
Um,
Okay.
so so I'm like, yeah, dude, the Goddess gathering, that could be really super cool. And so that's coming up. That was in about 3 or 4 weeks. In the meantime, the hurricane happened. And I decided I'm going to do my bust out. I'm going to bring Bree out. I'm going to let her like have a life, and we're here. That's one of the things when I moved here, I haven't really like tried to put on any kind of bullshit for anybody. I just, I paint my nails, I do my shit, it's just all good. And I've gotten nothing but love and respect and coolness back on every level, which has just surprised the shit out of me.
Right, you're the wizard, man. You're like you've got that.
Hasn't really been my experience.
Nah,
this is rewriting.
Okay.
This is rewriting programs that are 60 years old now, bro. I mean, that's a lot of living on a subconscious program that's running, that's affecting your conscious decisions and choices and emotions, but you don't really realize that's happening. So like all of that's getting reprogrammed right now, which when you go to reach for that in the situation and you're wanting it to be different and you're having to physically go, no, go this way, you can't go that way, you gotta go this way, because that's the way we want to go now. We don't want to go that way anymore. It sucks.
Right.
So I wind up putting on like 15 pounds like in 2 or 3 days while the hurricane was here. I walked outside. Wow. My neighbor, and it wasn't fat, man. I bulked up. My muscles were all shredded. And my neighbor across the thing goes, dude, in a couple, you went from looking like a normal person to looking like an MMA fighter, man. What the fuck's going on? And that's my body's response to danger. Like if it perceives physical danger,
go into survival mode. Yeah.
Get your shit ready. Let's go. Let's rumble, man. Because I'm not running. Yeah. I'm fighting. That's my nature. So I'm getting ready for the Goddess Gathering. Right? It's now here. I look like shit. I felt like shit. I've been really pissed off. You remember what a shitty mood I had been in at that mode and all that darkness.
You were having a hard time, yeah.
It was awful. I was enraged. I was just bringing up all this rage and anger. And I know what that was from now, man. What an incredible healing. So it's so funny. The day of the gathering gets here. I start trying to get ready early. I feel horrible. I look terrible. I hate every makeup. I did my makeup like 6, 7 times. I hated every hair I put on, man. Like, oh God, every piece of clothes just looked like shit. I look so fat. Oh my God.
The feminine was coming out.
Oh my God. And my two little buddies that I had enlisted to come and help me get ready and go with me. So I didn't have to go in the room by myself.
Right.
Couldn't do it. Oh. So the whole time I'm getting ready to go outside and get in the car, my little guys go, no, don't do it. We don't want it, but we mean to us. No, really, please. You can turn around. No one knows you're coming. You can say no. You should not go. Like, shut up, man. And I went to work on myself. I've never gone to work on myself harder ever. It's really very funny. Now, what is so funny then? So I get in the car, I drive down, I'm like, okay, I park. It's daylight too, man. Bree usually only comes out at night. It's a 65-year-old man under here, man. It's like, I need all the help I can get. So I make the walk up the sidewalk into the city circle, in the center of town. To the coffee vault. I go like peer in the door. There's a bar like right in the middle, like a wall and a bar over here, and then a room over here where people sit, but they pushed all the tables to the side. There's a big empty space. And under the best of circumstances, when Brian goes into a room, I don't like to go in, hey, I'm here. I like to go in, find the crowd, sift my way through the crowd, find the spot on the wall, scope out where the good energy in the room is, and make a beeline for that.
Right.
And then, hey, I'm here, whatever, I looked in the door. I didn't see anyone I knew. Dakota wasn't there. Her mom wasn't there. I didn't see anyone I knew at all. And there was nobody standing in the middle of the room. They were all rimmed around the outside of the room. So whoever walked in the room, immediately every little eye goes, well, who came in? So that's the moment I was telling you about with the doorknob.
Okay.
I'm sitting there with the doorknob, my hands on the door. I'm shaking, man. I'm like, no. You don't have to. Really, you don't have to. You don't know anybody in there, man. What if they're all like feminists that really hate anything that's male and they yell at you? And what if they think you're ugly? And what if it's this and that? Like, I mean, dude, just crazy, crazy, insane shit that just escalated. I finally just said, fuck off. And marched my ass in the door, man.
Nice.
And probably, I know this wasn't the case. Nobody probably even noticed. But it felt like every freaking eye in the room went. It was, I really never had a feeling like that before. I'm kind of like, luckily I had my little case with my decks with me.
Fear, yeah.
I had my case with my decks with me. I'm like, okay, cool. This is awesome. And I find a place on the wall, and I go scope out the room, and I see this place where there's a bunch of crystals and jewelry and some other stuff getting sold, and this great light, like, wow, coming from that corner of the room. I went, man, okay, there's some safety over there. Let's go find that. So I make my way over, and I'm just kind of like doing my 4-2-4 breathing, getting my calm back. And like on the back of my neck, I feel this presence. I'm like, woo, what's that? And I turn around and I look at this woman, and she's standing there and her face is going, brah! I've seen no features. I only see light. I'm like, wow. Hey, yeah, safe, man, awesome. Glad to see you. And that light dimmed, and there's just a big smiling face. And this is somebody, man, I've known for so many lifetimes, and it was like a homecoming. It was amazing. And
that's awesome.
God, it was like this instant acceptance and this welcome into the fold. And then a couple of other people started coming up. Jennifer Quigg came up. We're like all connecting up. And then Dakota came in. I saw Dakota's mom and Audrey, and like, oh my God. Oh, and the master of mayhem, Janet, man. This like all of a sudden I have this cadre of like crazy, great, ballsy, like amazing women. And I got to tell you, my experience with groups of women is that they're not particularly kind to each other.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like, you know, you get a bunch of women together, even women that consider themselves friends, and you go hang out like you're, you know, you catch up with them individually or something, and the backbiting starting and the blah, 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 and the competition and the insecurity. And like, this is a fairly substantial group of women. And I've had numerous like interactions with the groups, but also lots of individual people. And not once has anyone done anything except lift the others up.
Well, you know, I was going to say, I think it depends on the community. You know what I mean? And you found a community where
I really scored. I really did. It's a really magical place.
Yeah. I think what you're talking about is more, you know, kind of, I want to say mundania, or like, you know, like the common folk, you know, who aren't really into spirituality and really haven't looked inside and found, you know, themselves or anything even close. You know what I mean? It's funny because I had an amazing conversation with Flat Earth Dave. I don't know if you watched it.
You know, I'd be honest with you. I clued in. I couldn't stick around.
Well, you know what? The thing is, I was really trying to not talk about Flat Earth with him. I was trying to talk about spirituality and
doesn't work.
No, well, but I did get him to say certain things about being a soul and all of these things that I got what it out of it what I wanted, which was to get a couple of views and to get a common ground, to be like, all right, listen, I don't believe a word in what you're saying, but I believe that there's something beyond what we've been taught, and
Well,
that was
and
the
the
common ground.
reality is, in our universes, that doesn't work. In his,
Hmm. Hmm.
it obviously does. So,
And there you go. And
I
there you
don't
go.
believe that there's like the absolutes thing, man. I've left
Right,
that behind.
right, right,
It's like, okay, maybe in
right.
his universe, all the planets and spherical bodies are actually flat. Okay.
Listen, I had
I
a
don't care if that's what works for you.
yeah,
Fine.
yeah, exactly. I had a good common ground thing, and again, I don't really even need to. It's like I don't even want to get into the minutia of arguing about what he's talking about, because
It's pointless.
I don't believe what he's talking about, but I do believe that he's a human being, right? And I do believe that he's a soul. So I need to at least respect that, and that's really what I was trying to do, was just respect that, you know, whatever misguided three-dimensional stuff he may or may not have, you know what I mean, like he still has some of the same inner core stuff that I have, and that's really what I wanted, and that's what I got. So anyway, enough about that.
Okay, so let me give you the last capper on the Face Your Fear story.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's a really good one.
I want to hear how this all turns out.
So, not shortly, this is 3 short weeks ago, and like life is like different now. That moment of turning the doorknob, seriously, life would, I think, I'd extrapolate on where life would have gone had I walked back to the car,
Hmm.
and where life's going now.
Hmm. Hmm.
180 degrees,
That's awesome.
right? So taking that moment to like flip your fear off and just do it
Yeah, man.
buys you stuff with the universe, especially Saturn,
Creating
man.
it. Yeah,
Saturn is so like intense. And Saturn just went direct, by the way. Amber! Okay, I did a read. Okay, about a week after the gathering.
I don't know who's out there. Like, nobody's saying hello. We haven't invited anybody on. I don't know if you want me to put the link into the comments yet or something, but I
Well,
don't even know
sure.
who's out there. It says that there's a bunch of people out there, and I know that Jill's probably still out there, and Neil and stuff. I could see certain numbers.
Well, you're trying to
in
tell me I've driven everyone away?
No, I'm not. But I'm just saying. You could never assume someone's there, especially if they're not.
Yeah, but
saying
even
hello.
if they're not, they're
So,
going to watch it later. So
yeah,
fuck
yeah,
it. I'm
yeah.
still
So,
talking
that's
to
true.
him.
So Rick is out
Rick,
there.
what up?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. See, so we do have some people who are live.
Okay, let's get to the face fear. So, so I do the crawl thing with that, and again, like my German in me, I'm like, if you're not 5 minutes early, you're late kind of scenario. It's a real sickness I'm trying to work on. And so I arrive at the witches brew crawl, where the witches are all going to meet at a microbrewery, have some fun, and then go cruise around the town doing witchy things at all the different bars and clubs and stuff in Sebring. So I show up. I'm like way too early. I can tell there's nobody there except Norms and the Muggles in the room already. No witches that I could see. So I hung out, made a few calls. Next thing I knew, I saw a couple people going in, and I decided, fuck it, I'm going to do it. And Amber was there. I didn't know Amber yet, but Amber like went, "Oh hey, come on over," and like welcomed me over, right? And she and I struck up a conversation, and I hung out with her a good bit of the evening, and like
awesome.
we really connected. So later on, we were going to another place. I wound up doing some other stuff, and then was hooking up with them at the last stop on the venue. So I come into that, and Amber goes, "Oh, hey, Bree, how are you?" And which I have to tell you made my heart go, "Oh my God, oh, I'm here!" Hi.
That's great.
So I make a beeline over. We're talking. I go like socialize around. I come back, and Amber asked for a reading, and I wound up giving her one. It was a really impactful reading. I think certainly was for me. I think it was for her as well. And during that time, we were talking about Saturn. She's an Aquarian also, and the
Right.
way Saturn has been in retrograde and absolutely kicking us right between the legs over and over and over, pretty much every single day for over a year and a half. And just on your birthday, the 23rd, Saturn went direct from retrograde. So now all the things that were not clicking in, all of a sudden they're going, go, 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 go. All the stuff that like just wouldn't go, that should be going, is now going, go, 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 go. The things that are on the edge, you know, that like looks like luck, are now going, go, 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 go,
Awesome.
go, go, go. So, you know, when Saturn comes back direct, it's going to be another year and a half of that, you know. That planet moves slow, bud. So whatever you're dealing with is cool. And if you've done your work during that time of the retrograde, then the rewards to be reaped this time around are really super great, which is kind of where Amber's at, man. And at least according to that reading, man, she's ready to like do some serious soaring. So I'm so happy. So that's really super cool. That was another night of kind of cementing it. And then it just kind of became like really good. And I just kind of sank into it. Yesterday, I had the like little capper to it. That's absolutely perfect. I'm hooked up. Leah teaches a yoga class on Sundays. I went to that. There were a bunch of people there. Wind up having brunch at this place. We're all talking. There's a burlesque thing at Moan Cirque, this cool little club in town called Moan Cirque. There's a burlesque show that night. Long story short, I wind up getting hired to do the photography for it, and they asked me if I'd do it as Bree, and I'm like, absolutely, absolutely. So Bree got her first job.
That's amazing. Not even to perform, but to do an actual job,
which was a really strange thing because my work mindset is really different than my Bree hangout.
That is really. I didn't even know that. I didn't even know the story. Like that is
just literally just
amazing. That is so amazing.
The cool thing about the evening last night, and this is where it comes full circle to where the story started. I get ready, and as opposed to the night of the gathering where I just felt like absolute ass, horrible. Like, oh, dude, why are you even put the bag over your head, man? And last night I felt really hot. And the clothes were working, the hair was working. I felt like styling. I got all dressed. I had my shit, my camera. Here I am going to work, do my job, like at the Chi club in town, where all the beautiful people. It was just so. It was like a Fellini, my own personal happy Fellini movie.
That's so awesome, dude. That is such a amazing story.
Everybody in the complex, my complex are 2 rows of apartments, 6 apartments, and they face each other with a big courtyard in the middle. Mm-hmm. And pretty much everybody in the complex was out in the courtyard talking to each other. And I waited, and I'm like, I looked up and I went, ew, God, wow, all right, you want to see? You daring me? You want to see? You think I'm going to bag? Hello? And I walked my ass out, and I got my little flippy thing on, and everyone in the courtyard turned around, looked at me, and I'm like, ta, and walked the fuck on off.
That's amazing. Holy crap.
And for that 6-year-old boy to get healed, that program that's run my whole fucking life got healed.
What an incredible story, dude. Congratulations on that. That's amazing.
So face your fear. You never know what you're going to get.
Yeah, man. Face your fear. You know, I started making a graphic and I forgot to upload it. Hold on. Let's see if I can.
You're slacking this week.
You know what?
Man,
I am slacking a little bit this week. I've been so fucking busy, and I got 2 teeth extracted, and I'm just like, I'm just struggling. But you know what? I don't even know where it is. I don't even know how to do it right now. But yeah, that's an incredible story. You're getting some love from Julie B. Yeah, and from Rick also.
Yeah.
People sending love. It's an amazing,
really great friend.
It's such an amazing story, and dude, you are so magical. I want to say, earlier we were talking about some of your new work, So I just did grab that. I just want to bring up some of those
There you
images
go. Yeah.
because it's just so beautiful.
Dancing.
Jilly and I are experimenting with it, and it's so much easier now to respect what you do even more because it's such a you've really got to focus and you've really got to understand so many different factors
At
to
once.
get this kind
It
of
has to
result.
be a Zen thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's so obvious when you actually do it, it becomes even more obvious. Like, wow, you really, it's like, it's like going to a professional ballroom and everyone's dancing ballroom dancing. You go out and you try to do it and you're like, oh yeah, this doesn't really look like the way they're doing
No,
it.
not quite.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Oh, I
So
actually found my very first light painting. I meant to send that. I'm slacking this week too, man.
yeah. So truly a dance, Julie says, and then this. Oh, I didn't want to show that one yet.
That's okay. We'll come back.
I wanted to show that one. I think the other. Oh, I thought I had
Yeah,
two
we were
different
just
ones.
looking at that one.
I thought I had grabbed two different ones.
See,
Hold on.
there you go, man.
Yeah. Now I'm not slacking. Now I'm just doing sloppy work. Hold on. Oh yeah. Oh wait. There's the other one.
Oh yeah, I love that
Yeah,
one.
there's the other one.
I so love that one.
So,
Yeah. To be able to try having a medium that so closely simulates my energetic the way I see the energetic world is it just continues to bloom, and the more I get a handle on making that
yeah, no.
closer, it just really so.
I can totally get that. And I actually it was the first time I even had in my hands these like professional quality what you call it, fiber optic brushes. Um I'll
Did you get
just
them from Jason?
no, Jill bought them, and she just invited me out to kind of share the opportunity to check them out.
Were they
Um,
black fiber optics or just fiber
there
optics?
was one black one and one white one, and then what we did was, hold on a second. I'm trying to just find the image on my desktop. There's stuff all over the place here. Holy moly, I can't even see it.
So Wednesday, day after tomorrow, after
Yeah.
6 weeks of dealing with my implant blowout and my teeth being like, it feels, that's the other thing on the Goddess Gathering. I couldn't even like really smile at people because I got this fucked up side of my face.
Oh, right.
So I get to see the dentist on Wednesday of this week. Like hopefully
nice.
next week I'll like be full blazing smile again, which should be
Finally,
really great.
yeah. Nice. Hold on. I'm going to see if it's in my downloads folder. I can't believe I don't know where this image is.
So I guess I'm going to win the deck for costume.
Oh yeah, let's talk about that. Let's make this a party. Let's invite.
Yeah, let me grab some coffee real quick. I'll be right
invite
back.
some people on if they want to come on, and I'm going to remove that. Courtney, I don't know if you're still out there. I will put the link in to the chat so that if anybody wants to come on and try to win the Wizard of Oz tarot deck, I think if you are halfway dressed, you could win the contest. We just need anyone to kind of come in and show us your costume. So I just put the link into the comments there. If you guys can see them, just let me know. I did it that way so that you could just click on it. And if you do decide to come on, if you do face your fear, as Jill knows, it is a bit of facing your fear. If you do face your fear, just once you click on and you get in, turn off anything that you're watching, and you'll see the show in the link that you click on to get into the show, and you'll be able to hear it and see us even if you're not on the screen yet. But if you leave the show on, it'll start a feedback loop, and it will kind of be really tough to hear you. So I'll have to mute you
I know there's somebody
but we
out
can
there.
handle
I
it.
know
So
there's somebody out there.
yeah. So I know Pat and Jack. Pat said she had her kitty ears on. So
Yeah, well, there you go.
here's your chance, Pat. All you got
There
to
you
do is
go.
click on that link. Come on the air and face your fear. And
Not a lot of competition right now, Patty.
and you will win a Wizard of Oz Tower deck. What is it?
She's
$150?
got. It's
$150?
$100, yeah.
$100, $100 value. That's the biggest prize I think I've ever offered on any of my shows.
There you go. You heard it here first.
So again, right now I'm gonna hold on. I'm gonna.
Well, she needs the tarot deck to go with her angel deck anyway.
Yeah, hold on. I'm gonna put this in.
I met her at the yard sale when I was selling all my crap. Isn't that amazing?
That's amazing.
And the group of people that I've gotten to know through her and that man, she's like the ultimate collector. She just collects these amazing freaking people. Man.
We have somebody coming on. Hold on a second. I'm in the middle. Oh, I was creating a banner and I got interrupted. But here we go. Welcome to the show, Jilixer. What's happening,
Hi guys.
Hey, what up?
I got my blue hair.
Welcome to the Fool's Journey. You are the first contestant on The Price is Right.
Thank you. Do you like my sticker on my head?
Yeah, put some light on.
Light on. We can't see you.
I'm right in front of a light, but it's.
Oh, there you go. That's better.
There you go. Yeah, awesome.
Awesome. Yay, Jilly's we've got a contestant. Rick says he would come on, but he's walking the dog, listening in. You can do it on your phone, Rick. That's no excuse. Face your fear.
Yeah, exactly.
So how's your Halloween going, Jilly?
Pretty good. I'm eating too much candy.
Have you scared any trick-or-treaters, Shirley?
What's that?
Have you scared any trick-or-treaters?
No, I didn't have very many.
Oh yeah, I didn't have that many either. I went out last minute and grabbed candy. I was really worried. It's a sad
thing of the past, man.
I know, right?
Yeah.
We used to have
and I have to say, I don't know that I want to I don't walk around with my kids in some of the crazy places there are these days.
Well,
what they did here was have like a big town like Halloween celebration in the center of the city, and everyone brought their kids.
Made a safe place. Yeah, a safe place. Yeah.
But I remember those being super fun when I was a kid. I was always the devil.
There are some towns, there are some towns that I hear people saying, "Oh my God, I got so many trick-or-treaters." So I think there's some neighborhoods that are good, and just some people are still scared to come out.
Yeah.
But it's good to be out. I know for me personally, I had a wicked social October. Like there was so many events. Like I went to a couple of Gatsby balls, which is where I got my costumes from, and a couple of concerts like last minute, like excuse me, Janice took me to Judas Priest. First time I've been to Nassau Coliseum in a long time. That was really interesting experience to go to a concert. I think I experienced my first concert there ever. I was like probably 12 years old, and it was Electric Light Orchestra.
Wow, ELO.
Yeah. And I was really into, they had an album at the time called Time. And it was like really kind of new for them. Like they had their 70s kind of rock sound. And then this album, they kind of introduced more like a little more keyboards, and it was a little more robot-y voices happening. And but it was cool. I really dug it because there was like a story to it. And it was, wow, I'm remembering this. I was really into it because the story was about, robots and technology kind of taking over. I think Star Wars was really, had just been really popular and all of that stuff. So they had this little robot come out on stage. And anyway, but as a 12-year-old going to a concert at Nassau Coliseum and seeing everybody else and experiencing the crowd, and then as a 56-year-old going to Nassau Coliseum, it's a totally different night and day experience, I've got to say. Pretty funny. So is anybody else out there, or do we have our winner already for the Halloween?
Well, Patty, are you coming on with the ears? Let's see them. Are they good ears? Jilly's going to be hard to beat with the ears. And Jilly,
I have a hermit tarot card sticker on my forehead.
Oh, look at that!
Man, pandering.
That's awesome.
Works every time.
That's awesome. And you put makeup on your face. What else do you have on your face? There lights? Are those lights?
Little jewels.
You have a jeweled face.
Little
bejeweled.
jewels,
She's
little
bejeweled.
gemstone jewels.
Neil's here, but he's not dressed up.
That's okay, Neil. We want to.
No, he doesn't count. You don't dress up. You don't get to get up.
Julie's inviting him on anyway. Julie's like, "Come on the show."
Wait, Jilly.
So this is great. This has been really.
What
Brian,
about our girl that had ghost stories, by the way?
Courtney, if you're out there and you're ready to tell some ghost stories,
that'd be good.
We can digress into the ghost story segment.
And Jilly, you got a face your fear or a ghost story or something story?
Ooh, a face your fear story or a ghost story?
A ghost story? Oh gosh.
Oh, we've got another. Hold on, before we go to the ghost story, we've got Celestial Infinity. Yes, whoop, whoop,
Awesome.
Oh wait, hold on. We can't hear you. Wait, we can't hear you. Let me see if I can unmute you. Can't unmute.
I didn't realize we were gonna go on and dress up today. Otherwise, I'd have planned better.
Oh,
That's all right. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. I have to say.
But you made it. Welcome. Good to see you.
So you have a ghost story or a face your fear story you'd like to share?
A ghost story. So I've had just some personal encounters once, like a couple of times I went into some houses and had like some experiences with just like picking up on different energies and things like that.
Right.
So that's happened quite a lot. I have a lot of those kind of stories, and I'm sure like other people can relate to that kind of thing too. So
yeah. There are a lot of haunted places here in Sebring for sure, man. There's a whole abandoned hotel a couple just streets over from me.
Oh my God. I'm from Chicago, and it's a lot of like weird places around Chicago too, just from like all the history and things.
Yeah, man. A lot of crazy stuff's going down in Chicago over the years.
Yeah.
So how's the weather up there in Chicago? Are you there now? Is that where you're at?
Yeah, I'm here now. It's pretty much been in the 50s and like almost 60s tomorrow. So it's been pretty decent.
Nice.
Awesome.
Nice, not too cold. So Jilly, you were saying, do you have a face your fear story or a ghost story that you want to tell us?
I don't think I do.
No, I thought we were asking you, and then Celestial came on, so I just want.
Come on, Jilly, you have one. I know. Come on, face it, pull it out, girl. I know you got it. Come on.
What ghost story? I don't have a ghost story.
Or a face your fear. You've never done anything where you face your fear. You're not even one story. Are you kidding me?
Probably a windsurfing story. I don't know.
Jilly, if you didn't know, Jilly is the #1 female windsurfer on Long Island.
Yeah.
Wow.
Officially. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
I've been crowned Queen of the East a couple times.
Wow.
But not lately. But
not lately.
Back out there soon.
In her early years. Yeah.
Well, not so long ago.
Not that long ago. No.
I've been doing this for how long? Almost 30 years. So, you know.
So Jill, I know how you found the show because you followed me from the live stream into this.
Right.
Celestial, how did you find the show?
So actually from Car, like I was a fan. I'm a subscriber to Car and been following her for a few years now. And
she's awesome.
She's really awesome. So now she goes by Pearl, of course, but that was how I found Brian and then found you all too. So
cool. Yeah,
I love Car too.
We appreciate you being there. Yeah, Car will be back for sure. She's awesome.
Well, I think that we're at this place. Like, I don't think there'll be anybody else coming on with costumes, and I think you both deserve a deck. So, shoot me some addresses. Shoot Michael some addresses, and
nice.
I'll get you a deck out. Okay. Thanks so much for
you.
playing, and I know both of you guys have been here like from early on, so
We
can't
love
tell you how much I
you.
appreciate it, and vice versa. Absolutely.
Thank
Thank you.
y'all. Thank y'all.
Yeah,
That's
you bet.
awesome. That's
And you
totally
look beautiful tonight.
Yes,
Oh,
so
nice.
beautiful.
Totally.
Oh my
I have
god.
to
You
so
agree.
too,
much.
Michael.
Thank you. When I popped on
Yes.
screen and Brian was old, I was like, wow. I was like, and there were moments where my eyes kind of fuzzed out tonight, where I was talking to Brianna. I was,
Well, and you are actually.
I actually
That's
am.
what's really
The energy
uber
is very
cool.
different. Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my God! Everybody just gets to have voice. Everybody just gets to be instead of like, oh, well, who can handle this and who can handle that?
Yeah.
Like it just is, and whoever can handle it will show up and have in spades. And now it's like, okay, never going
absolutely.
back, never going back, never going
No.
back.
Awesome, very cool. So I don't I was about to say I never do this, but I think I did this last week. Which is kind of funny, but Celestial, I don't know if you check out my other show, the Live Stream of Consciousness. I do another show which is where kind of Brian was a guest a couple times, and he's like, I want to do this show, and I just have all sorts of guests on who are psychic mediums and all different modalities. I would love
You
for
have
you
a really wide spectrum of people, man. It's
and
like,
now flat earthers. I've had some people it's all about conversation and about finding common ground. And so I'm really actually pitching it to you, not so much as a viewer, but if you have a great story and you feel like it's something you'd want to come on, I urge you to check it out, and if
do
you
it.
have a story to
For
share,
sure.
Definitely do
come on
it.
and be a
Sure.
guest.
I
Yeah.
Definitely
wouldn't mind
do it.
sharing one of my stories actually.
That'd
I just
be
wouldn't
great.
need time to like write it out, so I'm not just blathering on, the sentences.
It
But like,
doesn't matter if you do. You just show up. That's
Yeah,
the
it's
game.
really
You know, it really is the best way to approach it. Just
You
fucking
just
show
wing it.
up. Yeah.
Mhm.
just
Because
showing up.
Michael has this innate ability to be able to kind of like make you start saying shit you wouldn't normally say. So, you get stuck on something. He's like, wow.
Yeah.
And all of a
don't
sudden,
even
oh,
worry
yeah.
about
Blah, 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 blah.
Don't even script it. Just
that's
let it
funny.
go. You'll be
Yeah.
fine.
Exactly.
That's
All you have to do is sit there and smile with that radiant thing, man.
Yeah, totally.
So yeah, like how should I contact you and everything?
How should you contact me? I guess I could
The
contact
live
you, right?
stream.
The Live Stream of Consciousness is on Facebook. Hold on, let me see if I could I'll put the link in the chat, and then you can click and get in touch with me there. Or you can
Okay.
find me on Facebook. Here.
I'm super psyched about this. We're going to get into the tombstone. I have a real time metaphysical mystery that's unfolding for me. And Michael, we set it up a little bit up front with the 55 thing, and we're gonna go dive into that. So I don't know what you're doing, but stick around and help us figure this out, because it goes in some crazy weird directions, man. Like, how did that happen? There are so many. There are so many connections, like the synchronicity. Like, okay, synchronicity is 1 or 2. 100? That's a message from the universe, man. That's not a synchronicity.
It's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
It is pretty crazy. All right, so let me bring that window up, and I think cool. So Celestial, I put the link in the chat. You can click on that and kind of message me on Facebook, or just friend me on Facebook. Let's be friends, and
You know what? I don't have Facebook, but you know what? In a couple months, I will be on the different platforms. But yeah, I've managed to get away from doing that for years. But
okay.
Are you still on Instagram or anything like that? What do you use for? You don't do any like social media stuff?
I'm
wrestling with that, to be honest with you. It's like,
you know what? I put my my email address right there in the chat. Did that come up for you? Mr. Z1.
Actually, because I'm not on the YouTube channel, I'm through the StreamYard, so
Shoot.
I will have to come back to that.
I want to get my email address to you somehow. Yeah, we'll figure it out. I will get in touch with you. I will get in touch with you. We can get in touch.
It's listed right there under your name, right?
Oh, that's my Instagram at Papa.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So Celestial, let me just ask you a question. Is your phone set to lock its orientation?
Turn
it sideways.
Yes, to lock.
Oh, it's locked. Okay. No, that's cool. So when when I have you on, I'll just tell you to unlock it so I could have you sideways. I'm a little anal. I like to have everybody, fill up the screen. So
okay, so put the orientation. Let me see. All right, rotation is on. How's that?
And now turn your phone and boom, look at that. We are whole.
We are all horizontal.
We have a full screen. Amazing.
That's awesome. Well, listen, I want to thank both of you guys for coming on.
Thank you very much. Really appreciate you sharing this night with me. It's a really special night to me on many levels. Thanks a lot. Totally. And thanks for your continued playing with us and sharing.
Your
really
contribution to the vibration. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank y'all. I appreciate y'all having us here too and having this platform.
Awesome. All right. Well, we'll see you guys soon, and we'll have you back.
Bye, guys. Love you.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
That was awesome. So much fun.
Okay, so let's. Oh man. Okay, I'm gonna have to regroup on the phone camera for a second.
Okay. So where are we going? We're going to go to the story about the tombstone. I thought, no. We
are, but what I just wound up doing was running out the power, and now it's like wanting to charge before.
Oh, what do you need the phone for? I've got the pictures. I could bring them up.
No, I want to draw.
Oh,
I've got it like.
Oh, that's right. You were going to draw. That's right.
I've got it pointed at the wall with a big piece of blank paper, and I want to start trashing it up.
Awesome.
So bear with me one more second.
All right.
If we can't do it, we can't do it.
For anybody who's watching live or the replay, the Wizard of Odd deck that was just given away, 2 lovely prizes, is this 10th anniversary gold edition of the Wizard of Odd tarot deck. I don't know if Jill had one, but if not, she has an awesome gift to give somebody now. Again, this is a $100 value. This is amazing that Brian has been so generous to give away 2 decks tonight for Halloween.
I completely screwed up. It's going to take about 10 or 15 minutes. We're going to have to do it differently, and I'm going to talk to you about it and see where we go through it. All right, let me go. Just yak for a second. Let me get my grip together and pull some of these things off the wall so I can have them in front of me.
Don't stress. Yep, just do your thing. So the story that we're about to get into is Brian's voyage. If you were listening earlier, he was out exploring cemetery. He was called into the cemetery on the left instead of the cemetery on the right. He was going to go into the one on the right. His car took him to the one in the left, which, if you also remember an earlier episode, that's what happened with the Necronomicon. He was called to go to a bookstore that was on the left instead of on the right. And so I've already seen the tombstone. We're going to bring up a picture of this tombstone, but the dates and the way that this tombstone is arranged was so striking to Brian that it just became this energetic story. And it's interesting. Jill and I have talked about the idea of giving consciousness to things like ideas and stories and like music. When you make a song, you've given consciousness to it, because now
it becomes, and in your universe, it's an actual real thing.
Yeah.
Like in that universe, it thinks it's real.
That's right.
But it's only illusion.
That's right.
It isn't really. So this whole adventure started on the Necronomicon. I was telling you about the Necronomicon. Mm-hmm. and what an impactful scenario that was for me, how my car like turned around. I like find this book, Necronomicon. I like open it up and it was like the meant there for me. I look in the bibliography. It's this crazy like list of books I get. And that's the beginning of my magical journey. And that was a really crazy, crazy, crazy story that I just a 2-hour story I just condensed down to about 20 seconds. So, so the very next day after that show and you told the story, you send me a picture. First thing in the morning, you're in traffic going to work and there's a car in front of you with a fucking license plate that says Necronomicon. And we're both like, whoa, man, that was a little too
blew my mind
weird.
for sure.
Yeah.
I wish I had it handy.
Yeah, exactly. So so we go into that 55 thing, and we start doing your numbers, and we figure out that 55 thing, and I have this this license plate now on my car that says 55B, blah 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 blah, and it's just kind of like really super crazy, and I'm trying to figure out what all this is about. Also, in the whole midst of this, keep in mind a couple things. Zen is 8955, 55, and your life lesson number is 55 as well. So, I tried to get a bunch of people to come on for tonight. Nobody was really willing to do it because it's Halloween and everybody had other stuff to do. Okay, cool. So I was trying to figure out what to do, man. Bring me something really cool. Thinking of a bunch of different things. I get this thing. Let's do some sort of mediumship thing and do a spirit board thing tonight. We'll use the spinning rod thing, and I've got a whole little Ouija set up for that, right? Yeah. So I drive out to the cemeteries, and just like my car, the day I was going back to the office, the day of the Necronomicon, it was raining. I was late. I needed to be somewhere. My car went, pulled into the book nook for me to find that book. It was like, it did it. I wasn't consciously looking for books that day. So I'm going to make a right into this big cemetery, which is where I went to go. My car goes left and goes into the other side of the cemetery, a different cemetery, older actually. And it kind of like, okay, I get it. And I let go, and I'm just kind of driving until it went and pulls in, and I get out and I start looking around. This is only the second or third tombstone that I see. Do you have that available by any chance?
Yeah.
And this is what it is. And it's a woman named Lila L. Moore. Lila. She's born on 10/11/1908. And she died on 11/12/1955. And the epitaph on the stone reads, "A contented mind," which I don't know, every piece of that when I saw it and I was there, like rang this resonating bell in my solar plexus. I'm like, oh my God, what in the hell is going on there? Mm-hmm. So, I start taking it apart and I look at the dates again, and 11/12 is my dad's birthday. And I'm like, man, Dad, wow, that's really weird. So something else is going on. And my mom's birthday is October 13th, 10/13. So you look at that 10 and that 11, that adds to 21. But if you take those 3 ones and add it to that 10, it's 13. And I'm like, okay, that's just really very, 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 very bizarre. And I stepped back from that. Let's see, man, I made so many notes on this. This goes in so many different directions. Let's see here.
I got to fill up my water. Hold on. Yeah.
So my birthday is 2/1. And I was born at 3:18 a.m. Michael's birthday is on 10/23. And if you start looking at adding the top row, 10 and 11, that's 21. You add the bottom row, 10 and 11, or 11 and 12, that's 23. You add those vertically, they add up to that same thing. So automatically that becomes a magic square. It's not just a regular grouping of numbers. It's now a 4-square magic square. And as you condense 1908, that condenses down to 3811. And my birth date is 3/18. So it's like already just sunk in there all over the place. Yeah. So those connected to Michael and to me is kind of a really crazy thing. My numbers, the numbers that, like you were showing before, you have 4 numbers that are really important to you. Your birth date, which determines your life lesson number. And then your vowels add up to a number, which is your soul number. That's you, only you and God know, your deepest you. Your consonants add up to your outer personality number. That's you that moves through the world. And the combo of those is your likely destiny number. When I add up a contented mind, the soul number, the vowel aspect of that adds up to my life lesson number 26/8. And when I add the whole line together, it adds up to 60/6, which is my outer personality number.
Wow.
So this thing is like screaming at me in 25 different ways. That's like, oh my God, this is for you. This is for you. This is for you. And so, one of the other ways I like shredding things is just like with the sigils, you make a sentence and then you go through that sentence and you cross out any letters that you remember until you get down to just single letters.
Yeah.
So earlier in the week, I had a meeting with Leah, and she and I were like discussing some really, man, she's like looking at a female version of me. We keep surprising each other going, so have you ever heard this? Have you ever done this?
I thought I was looking at a female version of you.
Well, there you go. Thank you very much. Sweet talker, you. So I take the name Lila L. Moore and I apply that, take the duplication things out of it. So it leaves E, R. It leaves E, R, M, A, and I. And when you reverse that, it is I am R, E, which I couldn't quite figure out. Other than earlier in the day when I had met with Leah, I'm looking at Leah's name. It's Leah, and my last name is Lahr, Lahr. So as you cross out, like a lot of times I'll do with somebody I'm friends with, I'll do that duplication thing, and you get left with this like kind of cool, like here's what your gig is about together. So I did that with her, and the letters that were left were ER again. So I'm like, wow, that's really fucking crazy. When I did my mom and dad's numerology in those two, that soul number, the outer personality number, and I stacked their numbers over the top of each other. When my mom got married, it matched my dad. And both, first of all, my dad has 2 59s, 59 soul number, 59 outer personality number, which I rarely see. I've seen that a few times over the years, rarely. But then my mom, when she got married to my dad and changed her name, that name changed so that her numbers were now 59 and 59. So it's 59, 59, 59, 59.
Wow.
Which is ER. E is 5, R is 9.
Wow.
I am ER.
So your mom is talking to you. Wow, that's pretty crazy. So Brian, I don't want to interrupt you, but I do want to.
But you're going to anyway.
I'm going to. I don't like to. But we have another wonderful visitor on the show. I don't know if you see that happening on your side. So
a little bit. I haven't really. I've been kind of immersed, so I haven't.
Yeah. I wanted to let you tell your story. But I am going to just say, for now, I'm going to say welcome to the show. One of our listeners, Robert O'Neill. What's up, Robert? Happy Halloween.
Hey, how you doing? Hey, how are you?
How you doing?
Good, good, good. I was on before with my smartphone, but I didn't have the option to check to
Oh,
join.
to get into the
I
show.
didn't have,
Oh, okay.
I didn't have the link to join, so I just got home and I just thought I met you on Friday.
Yes.
With
Yes.
Pachiti's
Yes. I'm so glad to see you. Yeah. I'm glad you're here.
the Tibetan bells.
Yes. Yes. A great group. I'm glad.
Oh man, it was so great. I mean,
aren't that in a wonderful group of people? It's like, wow.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm just like, I love the Tibetan bells. You know, it's just like, you know, it just takes you right into your center. You know.
Pratal's kind of the master of those. That's for sure, man. And the last few, man, the one you got in was last week the first one, or is that the second one?
Oh no, they've been doing it for a while.
No, I meant you.
Oh yeah, you know, I was there once before, like a year or two ago.
Okay, so
getting the links, and she had somehow she got my email address wrong, and she was sending it to me, but I wasn't getting them. I don't know. It's okay.
Well, you showed up at a really
found them again.
The last couple of performances
right.
at Pratal.
Well, I've
other
heard
world.
Yeah. I was supposed to say, I heard you guys before. You've already given out the award, whatever you want to call it. So that's okay. But I just spoke with Pratiti, and she says, "You got to go on. You're going to win. There's no one else there. Go for it." You know.
Well, I'm feeling in a really generous mood. Bree's a good girl. So send me your address and get that.
Oh, thank you.
And we'll get you a deck. Yeah.
There you go. Look at that.
See, it was worth it.
I'll show you some more of my artwork I got on my ceiling.
Oh, nice.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Is that acrylic? What is that?
Oh, yeah, it's I paint in tempera.
Okay.
I use a Blick quality, you know, a high quality tempera paint on thick paper, and then I mount it with push pins.
Nice.
Yeah. I don't paint up on the ceiling. I don't do that. I don't do a Michelangelo. I'm not. I don't know.
Very nice. So let me ask you a question, Robert. How'd you find the wizard?
The bowl meeting.
Friday, I went.
Where you met Robert? Oh, that's right.
Started talking and
good to see Brian. Good to see that you're promoting the show while you're out and about.
No.
Yeah. Excellent. Well, we totally appreciate you coming by, and look at that. Just for showing up, you get an awesome prize, and that's wonderful.
Christmas in October.
It's an amazing deck.
I'll take it.
All right. So DM Brian, and you will get that on the way. Awesome.
All right. Terrific.
Awesome. So thanks for coming. Robert.
Yeah, sure. Absolutely.
We're probably going to wrap it up shortly, but
all right.
We will talk to you soon. Thanks for being a listener. And
sure.
A viewer.
Take care. Thank you.
Adios. Awesome. That was wonderful.
What a crazy
surprise.
Yeah. No kidding.
I love that.
So
the Fool's Journey, it takes us everywhere we want to be, right?
The Fool's Journey is a crazy journey indeed, man. I mean, it is just. I thought we were going to do a show and teach some people about some cards, but it's an actual life movie of it taking place in my life. I hope it is in other people's. I hope that's manifesting for, the people that are participating in this too. And that maybe at the end of this, we could all share that little, here's my fool's journey, like synopsis kind of scenario, because it just like card by card by card, it just becomes more amazing by the moment.
Yeah.
And things I never expected. I'm an old bitch, man. I never expected any of this good stuff to happen.
That's funny. Real-time journey. Jill says real-time journey. Yeah, this is like a live reality show of the Fool's Journey.
There's a message that I haven't decoded out of that whole mess yet. So,
okay.
I think we'll leave that for tonight. And I can't believe I was such a bonehead and I forgot to plug the phone back in after I called you.
I saw it go off. I was wondering why it went off.
Man, it's like, what a bonehead. So I guess, I've gotten to this point too, where I would be so pissed off if it didn't go the way I thought it should go. And now I don't really care. I keep getting lesson after lesson after lesson.
Dude,
That
we are
it's going to go
creating,
exactly how it's supposed to go.
and that's right. And we are creating it. Look at that. We've created our own place to be. That's what I love. That's what I loved about
Just
the live
be.
stream.
Just
And that's
be.
that's what I love about this. I love that about the live stream. I've created some place for me to be, some place where not only I'm important, but I'm like the grand master, like,
Well, it's a great place to connect with people you wouldn't
I love
be
it.
able to share what you care about. Like the stuff that changed my life. You can't really get out there and go, oh, do this and do this and do this. But if you can live that, if you can live
Right.
your art, if you can actually express who you are with authenticity, and then if anything has been the lesson of the last couple of weeks, it's like the benefits of living your authentic self.
Yeah.
Cannot be overexpressed.
And I got to tell you, it's very interesting. You were just talking about the platform and where we are right now at this moment, this very moment, this kind of energy. And really, for me, it's been the live stream of consciousness, and it's been the Strange and Wonderful. And last week on the Strange and Wonderful, Courtney was having some technical difficulties getting her guest to connect, and her guest was the Dragon Lady, which was kind of like a female version of the Lizard Man who we had on, who is fully tattooed.
I know that guy.
Yeah, body modification,
the eyes, the whole nine thing.
Everything. And I knew the conversation with him was amazing. I knew that he was like a very happy guy, and his life was full of intention, and that he was his authentic self. And I kind of had a different feeling before we spoke to the Dragon Lady. Like, it's still going to be a great conversation, but it's not the same thing. And I was totally right. I was on target. It was a very tragic story, actually. And it was so I was full of gratitude and humility that this Dragon Lady opened up the way that she did. And the Dragon Lady actually started life as a man, and went through a lot of trauma and abuse as a youngster. Didn't have kind of realized that he was I want to say gay, but maybe more gender fluid at a young age, and was not accepted by the parents. And then like as a teen was like raped by men, and like just really awful experience.
Really awful things happen.
Really awful things, but transitioned to a woman, and became this Dragon Lady. I don't want to get into her whole story, but again, out of intention, and there's just this beautiful transformation and this beautiful reward for living your authentic self. You know what I mean? And that's kind of part of tonight's story with you. You know what I mean? Like, there's a beautiful reward for really being true to yourself and not worrying what other people are thinking, and it's not an easy thing to do. We have been conditioned, against that.
It's hard. It's really not easy at all, man.
Yeah.
But that's, so much about life now is about taking all the effort out of it and all of the challenge out of it, and making, fucking AI art. Oh yeah, I'm an artist now. I can type in some words. It's like the glory of becoming those things is gone. It's not. It's been taken away.
I agree.
And so like, what in your life is really feels like it's like your treasure, like something you like, truth, and you want to hang on to, that you acquired effortlessly. I don't have anything.
Not a lot, unless you make it that way. And it's really interesting. And this is a total tangent for our normal audience.
I'd like to make it that way.
This is great. No, but this is great, because I have been, for me, I know in my mind this has been coming up. So maybe the universe is trying to say something here. And in my beliefs and in my wishes for how humanity should be, I feel like it started, like, we're at a point right now where it's gone really south, right? Like things are disintegrating, things are
really
falling
bad,
apart,
yeah.
right? And for me, I feel like that started at the industrial age. Once
I
once
agree.
once people didn't have to worry about growing their own food and survival on such a basic level, and like you could just go down to the store, like you're saying, like what's important to you right now, because you could just go down to the store, you could call up on Amazon, you could get whatever you want. And
Dude,
I'm
like we're at
guilty
a
too.
point
I'm
where you
part of that
can't
too.
even push the button on the TV remote control. You got to have a voice activated thing so you can just sit
Right,
there and say it across the room.
right.
What?
Totally. No, and it's very difficult not to succumb to the comforts of those things and live that life, especially when society has gone in that direction. But I feel like that's a problem. We have the importance of being able to grow your own food. Like if let's just say everything went south and there's no power and electricity, like most people wouldn't know what the hell to do, like
Right.
how to even grow a basic garden, you know what I mean, of food, you know what I mean. And that's a sad thing, you know. I think I would love to go back to an age of farming and living on a farm and bartering. I need, hey, you
Well,
know,
even
I
that
need
they're
I need
trying to
some.
take away, dude. The
Yeah,
companies
oh
that are
yeah,
buying up monumental chunks
yeah,
of
oh yeah.
farmland and like,
It's a interesting time right now. And again, we've
yeah,
we've gone
interesting
within.
in that Chinese kind of way.
Yes, we believe in energy, you know, we believe in the power within. So a lot of those external things that are going on aren't as frightening to us. But when I think about them and I think about how where it's left the world right now, how it's shaped the world, it's a little scary, you know.
It's real scary.
Yeah, yeah.
Just have to have faith in your life.
But we have no fear. We have no fear. Uh
Well, no, you do have fear. It's not about not having fear.
what do you
It's
say?
about facing your fear in the face and saying, fuck you.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
you're not going to take my power away from me.
right.
You're not going to take my ability to do what I know is going to be right. That's the other thing, man. We give
Right.
each other so many excuses to like just,
Right.
no, it's
Yeah.
okay. Like all those voices in my head when I was getting ready to go in the door. No,
Yep.
it's
Yep.
okay. You've been
Yep.
hurt. You've been hurt. You don't have to do it.
Yeah, yeah. And you know what, the other day Jill invited me out to go light painting with her new tools. And
I saw some
my
of those, by the way. Those are
my
pretty
he-
cool. Nice.
yeah, we're having a lot of fun with it. My head was hurting, my jaw was hurting, and it was like a 40-minute drive, and I was like, I think I'm gonna tell Jill I don't want to do it. But Jill has this amazing effect on me. Just show up. I think I'm wearing it underneath here. She made me this little just show up thing. And she has this amazing effect. And it's like, I know that if I just make a little effort to show up,
Do it anyway,
that
she said.
it's going to be magic will happen. Do it anyway. Yeah, exactly. And I did. And I was grateful. Janice came with me and modeled for me, so it was amazing. And you know, we had it good. She's laughing at Jill. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, again, and that is for me, you know, I'm going to close with that thought. And that is the ability to connect with other human beings that you know are there to lift you up, that aren't competing with you, that aren't trying to get one up on you or
They
have
really
more
do
than
exist.
you know.
I'd almost given up hope,
Yeah,
but they really do exist. I'm
they
like,
they do exist. They're out there,
ah,
and love is the answer. And I forgot the pain for a few. You know, I was not in pain the whole time. I was enjoying it. We were at Gilgo Beach. It was a beautiful beach at night. It couldn't have been better. I was so happy that I intentionally put myself there. And that, you know, again, that's something that I talk about on the live stream of consciousness all the time, energy and intention. And that's the way you got to live. And that's how you got to be happy. You know, that's
exactly.
those are the secrets to a happy life. So,
And that's a choice. You
and that's a
chose to
choice.
do that. You
And
didn't
that's a
wait for it
choice.
to happen to you. If
That's
you
right.
hadn't gone out and gone, if I hadn't opened the door, none of that would have happened.
I'm gonna just don my hat for 1 second here as I thank everybody for showing up tonight
I'd
intentionally.
send you a deck too, but you already have one.
I already have one. It's all good. I appreciate your generosity and making this show a wonderful journey for me. and being a part of my fool's journey. I'm so glad that we met, and
Me too.
I think there's a lot more to come out of it. Robert O'Neill, thanks guys. Thank you for
You're
showing up.
welcome,
Thanks
Robert.
for sharing.
Thanks for coming. Yeah.
Everybody who's here is a part of this. I feel all of your
Exactly.
energy, and it's great. It's awesome. So come back next week. What are we on? Episode 11 next week?
We are going to be on it is episode 11. It's card number 10, which will be the Wheel of Fortune. An awesome card. It's like that card's all about, like, the wheel never stops turning. One day you're up, the next day you're down, and it's always going to be going around in a circle and learning how to cope with that.
And that means that it's going to be Monday sooner than we even know.
Like day after tomorrow.
Come right again. It's going to be back, and hopefully we will see you all there.
Thank you so much. Happy Halloween, everyone.
Happy Halloween to everybody. Peace. Mwah.